welcome to Garden Fork Radio. You're here with Eric. It's the solo show. The past couple of days, my neighbors have been doing a bathroom renovation. For those of you that are geeks about this, they're putting in a new plumbing stack, and we share a common wall, and that's where they're putting the plumbing stack. So, a lot of slamming noises here during the day that makes recording audio especially difficult. So I thought you probably didn't want to listen to that. So, it's 8 o'clock at night right now, and I poured a glass of wine. It's the end of the day. I haven't really figured out what to make for dinner yet. Do you do this where you're on your way home and you're like, oh, I have no idea what to have for dinner or what to make for dinner? That's what's happening to me right now. I always keep some food in the fridge. Like I always keep some salmon frozen, and I can pull that out. We also have a lot of miso soup during the week. I keep frozen peas and frozen corn in the freezer, and I usually have some tofu and some carrots or something. And miso paste, I especially like the darker, redder miso paste. It's like instant food flavor soup. Easy to make, and of course we haven't even made a video about that, so that's got me thinking here. Hold on. Okay. I watched this video show on YouTube called My Drunk Kitchen, and Hannah, the lady that is in the show and produces it, she has a cocktail while she cooks, and I'm like, well, that's okay. I'm going to have a glass of wine while I talk here. But I've already gone on a couple tangents here. But I guess we should show a video about how to make miso soup. My concern with that is that there'll be some miso soup purists, perhaps is the word. It's a very storied soup based out of Japan. There's a lot of tradition in making it, and I make the McDonald's version of it, probably. But it works. It's wholesome. It's not takeout food. It's not like a lot of carbs. You know, you're not loading up on bad takeout food that probably has a ton of mayonnaise in it or oils that aren't good for you. That kind of thing. And boom, done. You make that. You could cook some ramen noodles with it, or soba noodles, or udon noodles, or buckwheat noodles. Buckwheat's really kind of neat, and I think it's a little healthier, a little more complex carb there for you. But there you go. I wasn't even going to talk about ramen soup, and now we're yakking about ramen soup. So let me know what you think. Do you make ramen soup? radio@gardenfork.tv. Another thing I've been very interested in lately is, and I found it purely by accident, is Masterpiece Theater. Is that what that is on PBS? It's called Masterpiece on PBS. But anyway, the other night I had driven back into the city, a 2.5-hour drive, and I was just toast. And I just like to kind of veg in front of regular old television. And I usually turn on PBS first to see what they have on. And it was a Masterpiece Theater production called Wolf Hall. And I didn't quite realize it immediately, but it is about the time of Henry VIII and Lord Cromwell, who is his right-hand man, essentially. He's not a man of nobility or wealth. He was a working-class person who worked his way up to be a lawyer, and somehow met up with the king, and the king realized that this guy could get stuff done for him, unlike some of the others in his, what's that called, the little advisors, a little court of advisors, that kind of thing. And I was just kind of sucked into it, and so now I've become sort of a Henry VIII-ophile. I started out on Wikipedia reading about Henry VIII and Lord Cromwell, and then I started looking on iTunes for some. I thought there might be a podcast about the Wolf Hall TV series, which was produced by the BBC and then broadcast by PBS. And I found a couple things, but I didn't find anything amazing. I did find on the New York Times arts blog that they had been writing a recap of each episode. There are going to be 6 one-hour shows, and I've watched 3 of them, I believe. What I think is really interesting is the period. It's a period piece. The costumes are really well done. I don't think people back then had nearly as good of teeth and hygiene as people do now. So, but it just kind of makes you realize that they lived by candlelight, very low-tech agrarian kind of world where the king needed to raise money a lot, and he would tax his people. And then there were tensions with the Catholic Church in Rome between England and the church, and this is kind of what started the split. So it was all very interesting. So, have you been watching Wolf Hall? It's based on 2 books. One's called Wolf Hall, and the other one, I think, is called Burying the Dead. Anyway, the author of that was on Fresh Air, and I listened to her speak about that, and that was interesting as well. So I've become this kind of Anglophile. Is that the right word? Henry Ethophile. With the Wolf Hall one, Cromwell seems to have been cast as a bad guy in a lot of dramas. And in this one, he's not. And he's kind of he's a mover and shaker, and there's some dry humor in there, which I really enjoyed. So the other cool thing I wanted to talk about is Elon Musk and his new rechargeable battery for your home, which blew me away. There are companies that have already been working on this, but I thought, wow, this is really neat. If you have a solar power system or a wind power system or a hydropower system, a lot of times the power is being generated at a time when you don't need it as much. And Elon Musk and his battery company, it's called Giga Battery, have come out with a $3,500 battery that mounts on the wall of your garage and will absorb the power being created by your solar panels so you can use it at night. And I thought that was really brilliant. And the fact that it's $3,500 would allow a lot of people to go off-grid or mostly off-grid. And I thought that was really kind of inspiring and empowering. I don't know a lot about Elon Musk, but what I do know, I'm really impressed by what he does. And it sounds like my throat is failing here. So I've kind of had a feeling I might be having a little bit of a sore throat coming on. And this might be it manifesting itself by trying to talk too much to you guys all. But I wanted to reach out. Life has been a little busy the past couple weeks. And we can catch up on that later when we have Rick or one of my other friends on the show. But I wanted to do a little Eric brain dump with you all. The Garden Fork video iTunes feed is functioning. I'm going to update some videos, put some new videos on there. All of our reviews and ratings for the past 5 years are gone. And I'm trying to see if they can reinstate that. Trying to get hold of the iTunes podcast people is very difficult because I don't really know anyone. You just email this kind of anonymous email address. And with podcasts being the new thing, the new in thing, I'm sure they're inundated with people that have knucklehead questions. So there you go. Always like to hear from you guys. Got some really great emails lately. One from a gentleman who said that because I mentioned that Charlie Pup several years ago, he's been listening to back episodes, had a scratched cornea. He took his dog to the vet and sure enough, his pup had a scratched cornea. And we saved the dog from going blind because that will really damage a dog's eye. So if your dog is pawing at their eye, go to the vet. You're going to have to bite the bullet. It's going to cost some money, but you're going to save your dog's eye. And that's a lot there. So there you go. Just a little Eric brain dump there I wanted to share with you. Always good to hear from you guys. It's radio@gardenfork.tv. And I'll update you more. Sign up for our email newsletter. I just wrote one. It's going out tomorrow. Go to gardenfork.tv and right on almost any page on there is a little box that says, hey, get our email. All right. So make it a great day. I'll see you later.